Peter ONeill steps down and appoints Sir Julius Chan as Prime Minister. More members join alternative government at Laguna Hotel. And Stephen Kari and Dika Toua winners at SP Sports Awards.
This is the National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Sunday's news. Prime Minister Peter ONeill has stepped down from the top job and has handed over the reins to Sir Julius Chan, leader of People's Progress Party. A veteran politician and Prime Minister in previous governments, Sir Julius was heavily criticized for the Sandline crisis in 1997 and resigned then as Prime Minister. Peter ONeill is yet to tender his resignation but looked relaxed in a conference this afternoon as he handed over the leadership to Sir
Julius.In a dramatic turn of events today, Peter ONeill has stepped down as Prime Minister, handing over the reins to veteran politician Sir Julius Chan as Prime Minister and Sam Basil as Deputy Prime Minister.
The leadership of our government will be now handed over to Sir Julius Chan, who is a veteran leader and one of our founding fathers of our great nation. We will support him with, of course, joined by Sam Basil, who is a young, vibrant leader coming up.
The announcement came as Peter ONeill struggled to maintain control over the government with a steady stream of high-profile defections to the opposition in the last 4 hours. Even with an obvious minority government, Peter ONeill is still maintaining a brave face. The handover, he says, is meant to strengthen the coalition and ensure that stability continues.
We know that there are many like-minded leaders who are now campaigning in various camps, who are wanting to provide a change in the country. We are giving them this opportunity. And with the experience and the caliber of Sir Julius Chan and the team that you have here, led by him and, of course, Basil, we will give that support. And I want to assure our members, particularly PNC supporters right throughout the country, we will provide the numbers. We are still the largest party in government. We will provide the numbers for the stability of the country. That is our job.
Peter ONeill is yet to officially tender his resignation. He is expected to do that by presenting a resignation letter to the Governor-General, a process that is expected to happen in the next few days. Sir Julius Chan, who was also forced to step down following the Sandline protest in 1997, said the transition represents stability.
The strength of the government is not about numbers. It's the transition of powers from one government to another with tranquility and smoothness. And I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Peter ONeill for all that he has done. There is a drop in the confidence of the people. We will restore it. We are not just going to be a caretaker government. We're going to do something new.
Annette Cora, National EMTV News.
One more day before Parliament meets on Tuesday and more members are moving camps. This morning, Ijivitari MP Richard Masere was welcomed by opposition members at Laguna Hotel. Masere won in the 2017 general elections under National Alliance Party, then later switched to PNC. Another PNC member and Environment Minister, John Pundari, joined the Laguna camp 2 hours later. The alternative government is now claiming 64 members.
All three Northern Province MPs are now in the opposition camp after Ijivitari MP Richard Masere went to the Laguna Hotel this morning. Masere now joins Oro Governor Gary Jufa and Henry Amuli, who returned to the opposition after leaving the camp. Masere said he made the decision on his own free will after listening to demands from his people over the last 3 weeks.
Over the last couple of weeks, I've been wrestling with that decision. And today I've made the decision to come and join the team in Laguna, because I strongly believe as a young leader that want to change the course of this country, the opportunity is now today. And more importantly is that the country is at the point where important decisions must be made. And as leaders, we have to make those important decisions. And hence my decision today to come to Laguna and give my support to the team that's here. That there are like-minded leaders still in government, and we are willing to make the change. And then today, by coming here, it's demonstrating that need for change.
Masere was welcomed by Taripori MP, James Marape, and other opposition MPs.
Reasons are thinking correctly. If I don't become Prime Minister, I don't care. I care less of becoming Prime Minister. All I care about is preparing next generation of leaders who can have faith in themselves and faith in the country and take this country on to the next level. Thank you. Welcome.
2 hours after Masere's arrival, Kopiam Ambum MP and Environment and Conservation Minister John Pundari arrived at Laguna to join the opposition team. He declined to address the media.
All right, John,
thank you very much. I think everything has been said, so we're going in.
But the welcome speeches were given by opposition leader Patrick Purites and United Resources Party leader William Duma.
Mr. Pundari, welcome to Laguna. You have now come to your home.
Who is the senior leader of our country, a former Deputy Prime Minister and a Speaker. He brings he's always brought to all the governments he's served his wealth of experience, and he's contributed immensely to the development of our country, and he's now joined the Laguna camp, and he just adds value to the team.
Last Friday, the PNC-led coalition suffered its biggest blow when Agen MP and State Enterprises Minister William Duma moved over to the opposition with other senior ministers. The move was made possible after the opposition created an alternative leadership void when James Marape stepped down as the opposition's nominee for the Prime Minister's seat. Thaklagunga, National EMTV News.
Taripori MP James Marape says the team at Laguna are not moved by the announcement by Prime Minister Peter ONeill to step down. Mr. Marape made the announcement 2 hours after Peter ONeill announced his intentions to step down as Prime Minister at the government camp at the Crown Hotel.
At 3:30 this afternoon, the opposition team at Laguna announced that it has 63 members in its camp. That is 10 more members from the initial 53 when the motion on the vote of no confidence was addressed on the floor of Parliament on May 7th. Taripori MP James Marape went through the names of the 63 members of Parliament as a way of head count to publicly confirm the names and numbers.
And so let me thank the 63 members of Parliament. Firstly, let me thank, and I'll go down the names so that the press has the benefit of names of members of Parliament who are in the House with us. And
as for the opposition's position on the announcement made by Peter ONeill, the opposition maintains that they stand ready to respond to the cries of the public and are ready to form the new government.
We stand ready to resolve some of the major issues and reverse some of the prevailing trends, negative trends that have taken place in the last government or in the government of ONeill. We stand ready to ensure that the negative indicators of our economy are addressed.
United Resources Party leader William Duma, who said his party was a major coalition partner when the change in government occurred in 2012, has this to say.
So it came to a stage where the party which I lead, United Resources Party, had to make a decision and to acknowledge and take notice of the views of those leaders I have mentioned and to make that decision.
Meanwhile, 2 members of Parliament who showed up at the Laguna camp after 12 p.m. today were refused entry into the opposition side. They include Talasia MP Francis Maneke and Kiriwina Good Enough MP Douglas Tomureasa. Thaklagunga, National EMTV News.
This is National EMTV News. Stay tuned. We'll have more of the day's stories when we come back. Welcome back to National MTV News. The Papua LNG gas deal is one of the best deals the country has made, and it is better than the PNG LNG gas deal. This, according to Treasurer and Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel, when outlining its benefits in a media conference on Friday. He said the government's stance is to see improved benefits for the landowners and people of Gulf Province.
Over the past few days, a lot has been said over the signing of the Papua LNG gas deal. In a recent media conference, Treasurer Charles Abel gave some details of the Papua LNG gas agreement. He said the deal is better than any other deals, which will see a lot of benefits coming for the people and landowners.
PNG LNG is a good project, but you know what? The Papua LNG is even better. And I believe it's also going to be excellent outcomes for the landowners and the provincial government, local level governments as well. And we expect some of the gas to be used to drive a industrial park in there in Kari. It's a must.
According to the Treasurer, there are still a lot of processes to go through before the rollout of the project. There is still a need for a development forum, and more consultations are needed to ensure that the landowners are more involved in the project.
The two leaders from the Gulf have been very vocal about ensuring we get very good and improved benefits for the people of Gulf Province through the provincial government, through local level governments, but also directly to the landowners.
Secretary for Treasury Dari Vele also outlined some key principles under the Papua LNG gas deal. He said the project will bring in more early cash flow to the state, and the project will act as a baseline for other smaller projects to be established to provide more benefits for the people.
We want to make sure that at a minimum the government enjoys 50% of the pie that's there. And again, if we can better 50%, that's very good. Under PNG LNG, of course, we were looking at 48%. So Deputy Prime Minister and Treasurer saying that 50% is a minimum. We then pursued more than that.
Member for Kari, who was also there at the conference,
17% of all discovered gas in this country,
said similar sentiments about the Papua LNG gas project. He believes that the Papua LNG gas deal is one of the best deals for his people.
Ensure that this project must be the stepping stone, not only for the government of Papua New Guinea, but for Gulf Province and landowners. How do we utilize this project to go to the next level? Utilizing those resources rather than eating it up. How do we reinvest back into, thus creating job opportunities? And
Rayon Lakingu National, MTV News.
Winners in the 11 different categories were announced last night at the 27th SP Sports Awards. Best Male and Female Athlete of the Year went to weightlifters Stephen Kari and Dika, Toua, respectively, for their performances at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games and the Oceania Championship. Australian Olympic medal winner Kari was the guest speaker.
The 2019 SP Sports Awards started with the arrivals of nominees and guests on red carpet at the Crown Plaza Hotel. The 11 categories up for grabs were Sports Media Award, Sports Photo of the Year, Sports Official of the Year, Best Sportsperson with Disability, Junior Male and Female Athlete of the Year, Community Sports Initiative, National Performance, Team of the Year, Male and Female Athlete of the Year, plus the People's Choice Award.
No matter what level they reach.
Special guest on the night was Kari from Australia, who represented Australia in the sport of indoor and beach volleyball. Kari represented Australia for 22 years and is a three-time Olympian who won 1 gold and 1 silver medal for Australia.
When you are trying to set some goals or make a plan to get to where you want to go, you may not know how to do it. You may not know how to do it. But when you start just with something and then you start with something else and you start to add on to that bit by bit, don't keep your goals and dreams inside. Don't keep them inside. Let other people know about them because they will help you.
Some of the standout winners on the night were Backyard Sports for Community Sports Initiative, National Mixed Netball Team, Malios, and Stephen Abraham, Best Sportsperson with Disability. Entertainment was also provided on the night. Also present was Golden Fish and former swimming rep Ryan Penny.
Yeah, it's always really good to celebrate the talent from the previous year, and then to celebrate all those athletes who didn't quite make it, but who got nominated as well.
It gives us the opportunity to recognize, obviously, our elite athletes as well as some national and local talent in the various categories.
Word with you, please.
Yes, by all means.
Thank you.
For making the event possible, we also spoke to Managing Director of SP Buri, Stan Joyce, for his thoughts on the 27th SP Sports Awards and the amazing sportsmen and women that represent PNG day in, day out.
It's always good to see two things. It's always great to see how vibrant the nominations are from, what's happened over the year past that we recognise. And yeah, sure, there's some standout people that have done some pretty amazing things as well.
The night ended with the announcement of the male and female athlete of the year. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
And we'll have more of the SP Sports Awards in our sports segment later on in the bulletin. Since winning office at the 2017 national elections, Tambul Nebilia MP Win Bakri Daki and his DDA have been working tirelessly to build roads and bridges to connect all the missing links in the electorate. Bakri's recent trip was to Gia in the Lower Kagul area, bordering the mountains of Yalibu in the Southern Highlands province. Their vital needs are roads and bridges.
The people of Gia and Koroka at the Lower Kagul area in Tambul Nebilia electorate of Western Highlands province are just 4 kilometers apart. But without a road, they have remained separated for as long as they can remember. They live in the western portion of Western Highlands province, bordering the Yalibu and Imbogo electorates of Southern Highlands. These people don't have access to basic services. They are separated by the Kagul River, and the only footbridge built during the independence is the only lifeline to the outside world.
But now, time for change.
The footbridge and no road connections will be a thing of the past. A 1.2 million kina was made available through the electorate's District Services Improvement Program funds to build a 4.5-kilometer road from Gia to Koroka to connect this missing link. Roadworks have already started, and the footbridge will be replaced with a Bailey Bridge. Tambul Nebilia MP Win Bakri Daki recently launched the groundbreaking ceremony.
Time God is making leader. Your leader must look at the people. People need him service. People need him power. People need him road. People need him bridge. School fees. School.
Tambul Nebilia District Development Authority, through the MP's vision, Time for Change, is to build roads and infrastructures to connect all the missing links in the electorate. A missing link which will soon be open for use is the 16.4-kilometer stretch of road from Mount Kuta in the Hagen Open electorate to Kunia in the lower Nebilia area of Tambul Nebilia. The Kunia road will then connect another 3 big villages in the lower Nebilia area.
Me can walk in people, but me not got money, so me solemnly like so that car must round. At least car must round.
Another 3 million kina was also awarded to Works Department to build a new bridge at the start of the mighty Kagul River to connect more than 5,000 people. Vasinati Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
With an ever-increasing population in the capital city of Port Moresby, the numbers are also increasing in churches as well. The majority of Papua New Guineans are Christian, and most make time to go to church on Saturday or Sunday. But with growing numbers, even church buildings cannot hold everyone inside. A Catholic parish in Port Moresby is fundraising to get 10 million kina for a new church building.
This is Mary Queen of the Pacific Parish, North Waigani, located at Section 43, Lot 3, Pelican Street, Waigani. For the Catholic congregation that celebrate the Holy Eucharist every Sunday at the church, the number is increasing, The growth of parishioners has seen the church population grow over time, with church space not enough to cater for everyone.
Mi plaka tupla message long morning, but one plalo 7:30 and one plalo 9 o'clock. But still church work lo pulabiet, so mi pla work lo regime fana lo building no pla church.
Last night at the Dynasty restaurant in Port Moresby, the parishioners launched their church construction project, which coincided with a corporate dinner for the church to raise money to build a new church building. Fundraising Committee Chairman Blaise Golu said the tables cost 3,000 kina each and they should raise some good money.
Mi pla buy 60 tables, including all the VIP rooms, and mi pla finish too. So we are expecting to raise some good money tonight.
The church has stood the test of time. From its construction in the 1980s to this year, it has seen a lot of changes, but the parishioners are resolute in their efforts, with the parish priest, Father Robert Sabalo, MSP, taking the lead in the Mass and the church's pursuit for expansion. The parish is now embarking on a 10 million kina church building consisting of 2 floors, and it will solve the issue of overcrowding. Maximum space and enough room to fit perhaps the whole congregation. Arguably a tough task. The committee is looking to regional groups within the church to help raise some of the money.
So each of the races we are expecting more raise him 300,000 kina lo meet him this amount where we like raise him 10 million lo build him church, including house lo fara one time.
The committee is looking to achieve the mammoth task by end of this year, if not the following year. There have been cash donations and pledges from overseas as well.
Committee to talk one time paris na bla look lo en blo this laya. Suppose we can achieve lo this laya, then yes, but suppose no, then we might go for another year or next year lo try achieve this la a goal lo me lo raise this la 10 million.
Phyllis Sukina, National, EMTV News.
The Garden Hills Seventh-day Adventist Church organized an excursion for the Adventures Club and Pathfinders to a nature park. Over 100 children attended with their parents and teachers for this amazing adventure with nature.
Parents, teachers, and over 100 children from Adventures Club and Pathfinders went on an adventure at Nature Park this morning.
This la piscine niya. You look him, this la garas blame niya.
As part of the adventure's requirement to learn about and know the animals that God created and how they are cared for, the Garden Hills Seventh-day Adventist Church organized an adventure with nature.
To see how God loves us through His nature. So the little adventurers, they learn so many things by looking at the animals in the nature park, and they really enjoyed. Some of them is their first time to come, and they did enjoy a lot.
Coin ba you look him tupla crocodile? May represent him tupla type crocodile. You may find him la PNG.
The Adventure Club has 6 different classes. The students had so much fun, and some even shared their experiences.
I am sad about the cassowaries was because hunters are cutting down the homes, the trees which are the homes of the cassowaries. That's why we have to look after and be happy about what God created.
Came out today and see the animals that Jesus made.
I already know all the animals I've seen, but when I went to that, I never knew how many animals I missed out in my entire life.
Lilian Superakinea, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. In this Sunday's A Closer Look, we look at the late Kato Otio and the legacy he left behind, a superstar in the making who became an inspiration to many. Stay tuned for the details after these messages. Welcome back to the news. The late Kato Otio, a household name to many who follow rugby league in the country. He was a superstar in the making who became an inspiration to many upcoming players because of his quick rise to success. Otio was a humble giant, a man of few words, and a fabulous player on the field. He had many fans who admired his athleticism and his desire to become the best. He tragically passed away on the 9th of January 2018, a week before joining the Widnes Vikings in England. Since his death, his family has received massive support from his former clubs, teammates and fans all across the world. Elijah Levitt brings us this week's A Closer Look.
I know he's got a very good work at training ethic, attitude and work ethic, so he will succeed. And hopefully through successes like that, they can provide a motivation and, for our young boys coming up to aspire to be the next Kato Otiu.
He left me sooner, but I'm saying thank you because he gave me something that I didn't experience to live in, and this is so great to me. I will always think of him because of the house that he promised me.
Just being honest, it's been upfront with everything. So, when he was going away to England, he told me a month early. So, I knew what was happening before the games, World Cup game. So, and so it was just being honest.
Got across the line.
Here's a kick across field from Maury Kennedy. It's a good one too. Oh, spectacular! He sends the ball on to Boas. He puts a well-weighted kick in. They go right. Long putt. Brinko, Lee, Kato, audio number 2. Now Baptiste threads his way around the ruck and crashing through the ball.
Kato Otto, a tremendous rugby league player, excelled in the sport in a very short space of time. Otto was a PNG volleyball representative before switching to league. He made his big break in 2015 after joining the SP Hunters. He played in the second row position. After spending a year with the SP Hunters, he was selected for a training trial with the Canberra Raiders club. Otto spent 2 years with the Raiders, where he became a try-scoring machine for the Mounties in the New South Wales Cup. He was then scouted by English Super League club Widnes Vikings, bringing his time with the Raiders to a close. As the 23-year-old was preparing to leave for England, he shockingly passed away on the 9th of January while recovering at the Pacific International Hospital in Port Moresby. He suffered a severe heat stroke while on a road run with members of the SPPNG Hunters on the 8th of January 2018. Family, friends, teammates and fans were surprised at his passing. Social media was flooded with condolence messages from rugby league fanatics all across Papua New Guinea and the world. Even reaction videos were posted on YouTube about his passing. Papua New Guinea Rugby League was saddened at Otto's death.
Yeah, I was with him all throughout when he was in hospital. First time I saw him was back in returning after that World Cup, he wanted to train with the boys and came into the office when I was still at Gateway. The camp was still there, so I knew him. Even though he was with Canberra, he used to come up and train with us. So he wanted to do a bit more extra stuff. He was leaving a week after. So, but we stayed with him all throughout when he was in hospital until he passed away and until the funeral service and everything else.
The Widnes Vikings launched an official page for people to donate to late Kato Otio's family. The page became an instant success, with many people donating to help the family. It's been a year and 4 months since the PNG Komuts flyer passed away. The 9th of January marked his first anniversary. To commemorate 1 year of his passing, the official opening of his mother's house.
As a house was a dream house. It's no longer a dream, it is here. And we absolutely take great pride in handing this over to you. So let's just cut. as the pastor said, we open the door to many good things happening.
An unveiling of his headstone was held. It was always Otto's dream to build his mother a house. This dream has now become a reality. The house took about 8 to 9 months to complete, a spectacular 3-bedroom house built over the waters of Tatana with the interior painted lime green, representing the colors of NRL club Canberra Raiders. A poster of Otto with the Witness Vikings logo in the background was planted in the corner of the house.
Stan, welcome home.
It's my home.
Yes, right.
Former PNG Kumu Stanley Genne visited the country last week with a container full of household goods and rugby league gear, which was donated to Otto's family and the people of Tatana village.
Complete what we've actually started with late Kato Otto's mom Joyce. So we've just last year completed the house, Witness Rugby Football League and English Rugby Football League, raised some money, and we actually did what late Kato wanted to do for his mom, and with all household goods, so TVs, fridges, microwaves, everything for the house, and some rugby kit, gears, clothes, bikes, for her and her family, and for, I think, village of Tatana.
Thank you very much for public and the 3 clubs that helped me along.
Good to see Stanley. He's got big following in England, so he knew all those club members at Vikings. So it's good for him to come across, and as one of the rugby league greats from our days. He's based in England now, so for him to come in and after a year and a half to come in and present stuff like that to the family and the mum especially.
Much support was shown not only from the Canberra Raiders and the Witness Vikings, but also from the people of Papua New Guinea. An account was opened by the PNG Rugby Football League for Papua New Guineans to contribute to help build Mrs. Otto's house.
I'm very happy to live in a nice house that I didn't even think of. But I thank my son, God has blessed him that way, to leave me something like this for me and my family to live.
Otto was passionate about representing his country, playing for the PNG Kumuls. His untimely passing has become a huge loss to the Kumul squad. He played 5 test matches in the centre position, which included the 4 World Cup matches in 2017 with the Kumuls.
Can remember.
Finding a replacement for Otto has been difficult for coach Michael Marum.
I had to look around and look for players with that sort of size, with good attitude. I found a few players around, but they're a bit different. Every player is different. Katos was just one special kid. I was watching the local nines last year. Picked up Edine Gebi from there. He's also related to Kato, so yeah. But again, it's different. Kato was just a big kid. At training, it's just he loves to put his body on the line, even though he was young. So he only came in 1 year. And it was tough at training here.
His dream of building his mother a house has been fulfilled.
It's like a gift to me for my New Year and Christmas present. I'm so happy that my son has given me something that I didn't experience in my life.
The Canberra Raiders NRL team were looking to set up a Kato Otto scholarship. The scholarship is a lasting legacy to help further the careers of PNG rugby players. Otto's humility and strive to do better will be a reminder to many people. It was a sad 2 weeks for Papua New Guinea and the rugby league fraternity across the world, as a future superstar of the code had to go. Otto may be gone, but he has left a legacy which will live on for generations.
And And that was Elijah Lavette with this week's A Closer Look. Stay tuned, we'll have some sporting updates up next in Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Commonwealth champion and two-time gold medalist Stephen Kari took out the Male Athlete of the Year award over rivals Lee Garup from Muay Thai and Tony Ura from cricket. Also present to receive the award for Female Athlete of the Year on behalf of their daughter, Dika Toua, were her parents, Emily and Toua Low.
As far as Stephen can remember, after winning his last award in 2016 for the 2015 Pacific Games and 2 years later at last night's SP Sports Awards, Stephen Kari was announced winner of the Male Athlete of the Year.
Right now, I come back and I take my title back again in the sports award. So, like, Morabal won it, Asebor won it, and now I just come back and take it back. What belongs to me, so I own it.
This award comes after Stephen's gold medal performance at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, including Pacific Championships and Oceania Championships, and holds 2 Oceania titles in 2 different weight categories.
So I asked my uncle, my coach here, I tell him I want to go and train the institute with Bokofa because I want to train with my hero. So I want to be like him, win gold like Ryan Pini, Dika Toua, give inspiration to the people, and that's what I want. I push all the education aside, and I want to, give inspiration to the kids.
With every great man, there's a great woman behind. Dika Toua was announced Female Athlete of the Year.
Of the 2018 SP Sports Awards Female Athlete of the Year, and it goes to Dika Toua.
To receive the award on behalf of Dika was father and mentor Toua Low.
So while she's away in training, we look after her. So it's a teamwork. Yeah. So all this achievement goes to a teamwork. Yeah. It's a end result of a teamwork. Yeah.
Both weightlifters Dika Toua and Stephen Kari now have the Pacific Games to look forward to, as mentioned by Golden Boy Stephen Kari.
100% I am killing myself to defend my title. So I'm a 2-time South Pacific gold medal and 2-time Commonwealth gold medal. So I want to make it 3 times South Pacific gold medal. So it's not easy, it's not hard. Lifters gonna come up and they're neck and neck right now. So it's gonna be very, very tough, but I gotta give everything to win gold. I gotta bring a gold home.
Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
And don't go away, we'll have more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To football now, and Kari United will be taking on Toti City FC of the Northern Conference in the grand final of the Kumul Petroleum Holdings National Soccer League after a hard-fought 2-1 victory over the Eastern Stars in Port Moresby. Fidli Sukina with the details.
A cool, calm and collected Kari United came from behind yesterday to defeat Eastern Stars, cementing their grand final spot. The Eastern Stars took the lead in the first half, going up 1-0, but Kari came strong in the second half to take the match 2-1.
I guess we fell short. The boys just were not lost concentration, and then let Kari creep into the game. But we just those things at this level of competition. Technically, everything went well for us, but we just couldn't deliver it all the way to the full 90 minutes. Credit to Kari; they're a very fit and strong side, and that was basically it.
Stars coach Anthony Pakakota was confident in the team, but Kari restructured their plan of attack and turned the match in their favor in the second half.
in the normal season round, we were in the same situation. We were 1 goal leading going into the second half, and they came back and got 2 quick goals, and then that game ended up in 3-2. No different to today's game, and the Stars have proven that they are a team capable of beating Kari, and we came out giving all we could.
Things never looked bleak for Kari in the second half as they took control of the game and slowed things down for Eastern Stars, who started to lose momentum. Kari United captain David Muta humbled by the win.
First of all, I want to thank our good Lord above for everything, for His guidance, protection, and for giving us this victory. We give all the glory on our back team. Secondly, I want to thank the Eastern Stars team for the good season they have come through with. They have displayed a very good skills and good performance throughout the season, and I give credit to them for coming this far.
Muta reaffirming that Kari never underestimate their opponents.
We really look forward for every game. We never take any team lightly. We keep on going with our training. Anything we take, we keep on going with our game plan and keep on working hard. Thank you to our coach, Allen, our good management that keep on pushing the boys and help us to come this far.
Kari had their work cut out for them when they were down 1-0 in the first half, but their change of game plan gave them the win.
Well, the 1-0 goal was very good performance, build up from the Eastern Stars team, and a good finish from Empire. And it really put us on our toes, because this goal is really important to them. And we on the first half, we didn't organize really well. On the second half, our coach gave us some game plan and making sure that we have to score some goals. So this goal really pushed us on the second half.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends True Kai Sports for this evening. Up next, a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, fine weather expected in Daru, Alotau and Popondetta, a shower or 2 in Kerma and a shower or 2 in Port Moresby. To the Momasi region, mostly fine in Leh and Wau, a shower or 2 in Madang and Wewak, fine weather in Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, all the major centres, Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka can expect thundery showers over the next 24 hours. And in the Highlands region, the major centres, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg can all expect brief showers with early morning fog developing.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
And to end the news, former Chief Justice Sir Arnold Ahmed in a conference this afternoon has clarified the proper process which can allow for the Prime Minister to step down. He said, in order for the Prime Minister to formally step down, his resignation will have to be announced on the floor of Parliament.
Make someone acting Prime Minister is for that Member of Parliament firstly to be appointed a Minister, and then the Prime Minister appoints him Deputy Prime Minister, and when the Prime Minister is absent from the country, the Deputy Prime Minister becomes acting Prime Minister. The Prime Minister will remain Prime Minister after he tenders his resignation until the Parliament elects a new Prime Minister who replaces him. And then the new Prime Minister may change all of the ministers. So that clarifies the constitutional process, and also under the Prime Minister and National Executive Council NEC Act.
And that's a news, sport and weather for today, Sunday, the 26th of May, 2019. For all the latest updates, follow MTV Online on Facebook, as well as our website, www.emtv.com.pg. But for now, on behalf of the entire MTV News team right around the country, have a safe working week. Pleasant viewing. Good night.